House podcast. I'm your host, Jen, and these are my co-hosts,
Queen.
And Christina.
And tonight we have a special guest
Tavares.
who's joining us tonight on this life topic. And if you've been following us for a while, you know we talk about life, love, and relationship. And today's topic, we'll be talking about how to find peace after losing a loved one. And we're going to let Tavares tell his story. First of all, who did you lose? And who did you lose, and how did you handle it?
I lost my father 25 years ago as 2 days ago due to cancer, thyroid cancer. For me, finding peace afterwards took me at least six years to find peace. I suffered anxiety attacks, kind of fainting,
Wow.
anger issues.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, he came to me while I was asleep, and he kind of just walked up to me and told me, "It's like, son, you gotta let me go. Like, I'm gonna always be here, but you gotta let me go." And I tried to ask him like what he meant, like what you trying to say, but it's like he just vanished.
Wow.
And I woke up and I was like, well, maybe I need to let go of this hurt and know that he's at peace.
Mm-hmm.
And that's his way of telling me, like, hey, I'm at peace. It's time for you to be at peace. Stop suffering and hurting yourself behind me. I'm going to be okay. And for me, that was the turning point of me finding peace after losing him.
Wow. That's something I know that a lot of people experience something similar to that, where they have visions or dreams and their loved one is telling them to let them go, that they're going to be all right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry that you lost your father, and we know that some things is just out of our control. Of course, if it was left up to us, we'll hold on to people for forever.
Mm-hmm.
We will remain here for forever if it was left up to us. But unfortunately, it's not.
Yeah, my condolences as well. Did you say how old you were?
I was 15 when he passed away.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that was a difficult age or a rough age to go through that, being that, you're already going through different changes as well, becoming a teenager, just your body going through changes, you probably was in sports or whatever, and then boom, having to deal with that on top of whatever you were going through. I'm pretty sure that was something very tough and difficult to deal with. And for it to take 6 years, I know that you can't put a time on, how long it's gonna take for you to heal or for you to begin to heal.
Right.
We don't know what the grieving process looks like for each individual person. But I hate that it did take that long, but I'm pretty sure, it sounds like, there were lessons and stuff that you learned throughout that time, as well as, when that did occur, when he did come to you. So, you can take that stuff with you for the rest of your life. You can help other people through the same thing that you went through. They might not have that same situation happen with them, but, just you letting them know, what your situation was. It could happen to them in a different way, whatever, your story, I feel like, can help somebody else that might be going through or may have went through the same thing and still have not found that peace. Still have not reached to the point to where they're okay with the loss of their loved one. So I commend you for, being able to even speak about it,
Right.
to talk about it, and to share your story. So we appreciate you coming to do that with us.
Thank y'all.
Yes, indeed.
My question to you is, were you by his side when he passed?
No ma'am. I was currently in school when he was dying on the operating table. And from what my grandmother told me, that they revived him once, and he told them not to revive him again, just let him be. But when they revived him again, his last words was, "Don't let nobody disrespect my kids. Love my kids. Make sure they're taken care of." And after that, she said he just let go. So I was currently in the middle of school when my mom came and got me. And from that day, I didn't cry up until the day of the funeral when I watched him put his casket in the hearse. From then, that was my turning point of grief.
So do you, well, it sounds like you remember it like it just happened. Do you think there was ever a point that you would get to where you don't feel an emptiness thinking about it, just remembering the happiness, the times you had, happy times?
I remember all the happy times. I wouldn't say I'm empty now. During that healing process, I was empty, but I wouldn't say I'm empty now. I'm filled with a lot of memories, a lot of joy, good and bad, from when he disciplined me, from when he's been there to congratulate me through things. So for me, I would say I'm more healed than empty now.
Okay.
Do you have children?
Yes, ma'am.
So are you preparing your children for when time may come for you, or you just haven't crossed that line yet?
I am in the process of trying to prepare those things. I do speak about it every now and then. Far as insurance, I haven't really got my own personal, but I do have it every time I do be employed. I make sure I have them as my beneficiaries.
One more question. Is there anything that you might do that might make you feel closest to your dad? Let's say there's a time where you just do feel a void, or just start missing him. Is there something somewhere that you go, something that you do that will help you, find that balance and, feel back your normal self?
I know he was mostly a music person. He loved music. For me, I'm kind of the same way. I love music. So when I listen to certain music that he liked to listen to, a lot of the old school music, it kind of helps me bring that back.
Yeah.
Kind of helps me balance, and just kind of fills me with that joy.
Well, I know grief for everybody is different. Nobody grieves the same, because you don't know how people affect people differently. So, sounds like you handle it pretty good, considering that you was 15, and that's young.
Yes, ma'am.
And then here you are, that you still have those good memories, and you're not wilding out, and because a lot of times people that don't have their father growing up, they hurt from that. So whether they lose him through death or he just left, or another situation happened, and they wilding out because they can't deal.
And which I did as well. I wilded out. I did a lot of bad things in my past that I'm not proud of, because I didn't have that structure, that man figure in my life anymore. That one phone call, or a pull up. So I can honestly say yes, I did have that time where I spazzed and got in trouble. But for me, I think over time I realized that what was it for, and also my kids as well. When I started having kids, like, I knew I didn't want to be behind bars watching them grow up. What kind of example would I be setting for them, all because of something that happened to me, something that I couldn't stop from happening.
And with your siblings, how was you all's relationship?
Well, on my dad's side, all my siblings, we barely talk. Not just more so by default, it's just everybody's just dealing with their own lives. Everybody had their own parents, so after he passed, it was like everybody was just split up. We was all still young, so over the years, we got together every blue moon, so it kind of didn't really build a gap with us. So we all kind of grew separate ways. Not that we don't still love each other, but we kind of just grew separate ways where we don't really talk that much. We barely see each other, and it was 8 of us. One passed away with thyroid cancer as well, back when she was young, and so that left us with 7 left.
Well, let me ask you this: is that something, the thyroid cancer? Is that something that you're keeping an eye on?
Yes, and it wasn't considered genetic. From what they told us was he got it from a chemical plant he was working at. So that's how he got it. My sister, on the other hand, I don't know how she might have caught it, but for the most of us, rest of us, we're all still good.
Okay. Well, thank you again for coming on, telling the story.
Thank y'all for having me.
And we hope you continue to heal.
Yes.
Be blessed.
Yes, ma'am.
I guess we'll go ahead with our dear Jen. Dear Jen, it's been almost a year since my sister passed, and some days it feels like I just got the call. I go through motions, working, errands, and even social events, but I feel like I'm pretending to be okay more than I actually am. People around me have stopped bringing her up, like saying her name might break me open. But the truth is, I want to hear her name. I want to remember her laugh, her sarcasm, her warmth. I want to talk about the way she always knew what to say, even when I didn't want to hear it. Everyone keeps telling me it'll get better, that time heals. But what if I don't want to heal in the way that they mean? I don't want to forget her just so I can function. I want to live a full life, but I want to carry her with me not leave her behind. So how do I find peace without feeling like I'm letting her go?
Well, I'm going to say my advice, my condolences on your sister. But my advice would be for, you said that, when you're in rooms, people try to avoid bringing up her name, but you bring up her name. You be the one to keep her name alive. And once they see that, you're okay with it, then let it flow. I'm pretty sure that everybody's going to be comfortable with, whatever they want to say, whatever memories they want to share, they're going to be, open to do that because you gave them that entryway, So that would be my advice to, just go ahead and you put her name out there. You start the conversation with her name, bring her presence back into the room, and I'm pretty sure others will do the same. So
yeah, you can dive in if you want.
I would say continue to bring up her name.
Okay.
Keep her name alive. It may be hard, it may be grieving, but it'll be okay.
Yeah. And also remember that pieces of her live within you because you're her sister, blood on blood. So you can talk. It's okay. You can talk about her. And doesn't matter if everybody else forget her or quit talking. You keep talking. Like she said, keep bringing up the name. Because that's your sister. She gonna always be your sister,
right.
Whether she here in the spirit or even when she was here in the flesh, she was your sister then. So nothing has changed. She's just transitioned into the spirit world, but she's still your sister. So just remember that she's gonna always be here with you, within you. You still carry a part of her. So continue to talk to her, have those conversations. It doesn't matter what nobody else think about it or think you might be a little woozy, but it's okay to be a little woozy, That's your sister. So you don't want to forget her and don't let nobody else forget her. So that's what I say. Hang her pictures up on the wall, don't take them down,
right.
Just time, a lot of people say, well, you need to let her go. She's gone now, she ain't coming back. No, you don't have to do that. Hold on for forever, ever. Time, they say, oh, you'll get over it with time. But I think time teaches us. It teaches us how to be appreciative of the time that we did have. Because nobody's promised. None of us, the next second, it's not promised that we're going to breathe again. So just be appreciative of the time that you did have with her here on this earth. And it also teaches us not to take it for granted that we're going to continue to be here on this earth. But at the end of the day, she isn't gone. She still lives within you. And just remember that and hold on to that. So it doesn't matter if anybody else forget her. Keep her alive in you. That's my advice. Anything? All right. We hope we said something to help. And if you feel like you need to seek out someone to talk to help you get through those rough times, because like he said, his father, he think about his father when some old school music come on. You may think about your sister when you see a reflection in the mirror, possibly, or whatever y'all used to do. She just might flash in your mind, and it might make you feel, away for a second. But you can go on and keep living, keep smiling, keep thinking about her. Cherish those memories. You don't have to forget her. And I'm repeating myself, so I'm gonna go on to the next Dear Jen.
But I was just gonna add to that, like some of those memories, you know, they might be sad in the beginning, but then you know they might get happy.
Yes.
Like, you know, those memories. Then you might start off, you know, crying when you think about the memories, but you know, after a couple years, you're gonna be laughing about them. You know, possibly. You know.
Yeah, 'cause you'll be like, remember that time when?
Right.
And you know, some people, they get a voicemail, and that was the last thing, the voice that they heard.
Right.
So they'll play that
Hold
voicemail
on
over
to it.
and over and over. And you don't have to erase that until you're ready to erase it.
Right.
Or you may not never erase it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
It's okay to listen to that. It's okay. Don't let nobody tell you that it's not. Because your grieving process is your grieving process, not nobody else's. So you take your time to heal. We got quite a few Dear Jens on this subject. So, Dear Jen, I lost my dad 4 months ago. He wasn't just my father, he was my anchor, my go-to person when life got too loud. I still reach for the phone sometimes, only to remember he's not there. People think because I'm back at work and smiling again that I must be doing better. But inside, I feel like I'm walking around with a cracked rib no one can see. I laugh at jokes and meet deadlines, but there's a part of me that's just somewhere else. Grief has made me distant from myself, like I don't quite fit in my own skin. I want to feel normal again. I want to stop feeling like peace is something reserved for other people, but not for me. Is this what grief is? And how do I find peace without feeling guilty for it? Signed, trying to hold it together. Well, so many people forget to say what you're feeling is real and it's okay. You got to go through that process of whatever you're feeling, knowing that it's going to be okay. And a lot of times you might feel guilty and thinking about, was there something that I could have did to prevent it? Or I could have did more, or this, or that. You know, you just never know until that time happened. You probably having all kind of thoughts coming from everywhere. But know that really it's not in your control. And it might be hard to hear, but you couldn't have prevented it if you wanted to. Because we don't control that. That alone belongs to the Creator. And He's the one that gives us breath, and He's the one that takes it away. So I'm sorry that you're going through this. I don't know, it's just tough. How do you tell somebody that's hurting not to hurt? Because you that's your right. Nobody can take that from you.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. This is just such a tough subject, but it's something that had to be talked about.
Yeah.
I would say get with a group that's they do have grief groups that would help you. If you can't find a group in your area, I always go back to seek counseling. There is a counselor that can help you get through those tough moments, because it's hard. You're used to seeing somebody, their smile, them being around, and then all of a sudden they no longer there. How do you get through that? And I'll say one day at a time. Don't try to, make excuses for it. Or if you might wake up one day and you're feeling down and you just don't feel like doing life, then take that time. Take that time to lay in those feelings, I guess, for the lack of other words. Because that's your right. You will be fine. I will say that. Once we accept the fact that our loved one is gone and no longer coming back, we get through it. I don't know how, but we do, because we do have to go on. But you don't have to go it alone. I do know that. You can reach out to somebody and tell them you are not okay, that you need help to get through it. And they will help you. Because trust me, you're not alone.
Right.
Because I'm going to go over the statistics of death. And I'm telling you, every day, every second of the day is happening. So that's how I can sit here and say, you're not alone. There is somebody that's going through the exact same thing right now. Differently, but the same thing. Because they're feeling it different. We wish you luck and just seek out that support system. If you don't have family or group therapy or even one-on-one therapy, whatever it is that you need to do, go outside and scream. Whatever you need to do to get that off of you for that second, do it, and it's okay. Don't matter how people look at you. It ain't about them. You're coping the best way you know how.
Right. And talk to somebody that you know that has dealt with the same exact thing, or not same exact thing, but the same thing, you know, that has dealt with the loss, whether it's recent or old, you know.
Right.
Just, you know, talk to them, let them know how you're feeling. 8 times out of 10, they've felt the same way that you're feeling. So, you know, they can probably help you and guide you, let you know some of the things that helped them get through, you know, what they were dealing with as well.
Yeah, I would say just take some time and cry. No matter how long it takes you, if you gotta set aside that time, do that. Because it is a hard thing, and you just gotta be okay with that. It's okay. That's why you have the tear ducts, you know, one of the reasons anyway. And when you cry, you can release a lot of the tension off of you, and it's gonna help you in the long run. So no matter how many times a day, just cry. And talk about it. Because the more you talk about it, the more it's going to help you be able to get through it. But if you don't have people that you're talking to, the more you'll start to isolate yourself. So you don't want to isolate yourself. You want to just, you know, talk to your family members, like therapies, like Jennifer was saying. Find somebody.
And I would say, like Miss Queen said, cry, let it out. That's exactly what I did for a full week straight. I stayed in my room and just cried every day. And it took for me to get out the house, to go over a family member house, to take my mind off of it. To talk to them, some of the cousins that I had, to talk to them just to take my mind off of it, just to express how I feel. And even then, you know, they even told me it's okay to cry, cuz, like, you know, we're here.
And you mentioned about trying to hold it together. Don't. Let it go. That will help you letting it go. Let it out. Don't try to hold it in. Like, let it out. It's okay.
You're going to feel better when you do.
Exactly. And if you believe in prayer, that helps too. Talk to God. You know, tell them how you feel. And I know some people get angry when their loved one's gone. Why you let this happen? You know, your feelings are valid for what you feel. Ask him to give you strength to get through it. You know, all it takes is an ask. And he'll help you get through it. And we hope something was said that might help you. All right, let me find the next vision. Up here. Dear Jim, I lost my wife last year. We were married 42 years. She was a talker. She was an organizer in the heart of our home. Now it's just me. People mean well when they say, "You're strong," and I nod. They think because I don't cry in front of them, I'm doing all right. But the truth is, I haven't heard my own voice in days. I sit in the quiet and pretend it's peace, but it's just silence. I miss the small things most. The way she hums when she fold laundry, the smell of the lotion on the pillow, the way she always put the extra fork on the table, even when it's just the two of us. I've never been good at talking about feelings, but lately I catch myself speaking out loud like she's still in the room. Am I going crazy, Jen? Or is this just what grief looks like when no one's watching? And I'm still setting 2 plates. Wow. Well, you keep setting those 2 plates.
Right.
Ask her what she wants for dinner.
That's right.
It's okay. You do it for as long as you need to. I tell you.
That's sweet.
And then the fact that you said she was a talker. Talk to her.
Right.
Just because she crossed over, ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed. Just don't answer for it. Nah, just kidding. Just try to lighten the moment. But you're going to be all right. You're going to be all right.
My advice for you would be to get close to or try to gain a better, closer bond to her children, nephews, whoever's living, you know, the closest people that were to her, so you guys can share that connection, you know, keep her alive as well, you know. The same like we said for the other young lady, just keep her name alive, you know. The more you guys talk about her, you know, the more I feel like, in my opinion, the more comfortable, you know, you'll be with the fact that, you know, that change has been made. You know, because you can't put a time on it, you know. Even though, you know, we all know, they say, you know, time heals all wounds. And, you know, it is really true. Like, if I have a wound, you know, in time, it's gonna heal, you know. So, it's some truth to it, you know. So, just get with some people that, you know, want the same thing as you, and you guys share that connection, and I feel like you guys will it'll make you feel closer to her when you do share that connection with the people that are closest to her, or were the closest to her.
Also remember, memories don't die with the heartbeat. You still got those memories. You remember what you did the day before, and the day before that, and the day before that. And thrive in that. Remember them as they was, whole and healed. You know, remember that laughter, like you say. Remember them conversations you had. You know, just hold on to it. If you got pictures, go back and look at those pictures and remember when. You know, that's why I like taking pictures, because you just never know.
So, yeah.
Anybody else got anything?
I would say to compliment on what Christina was saying. I lost my grandmother, one of my grandmothers as well, due to gun violence. But as a family, we would always celebrate her. Like everybody would come together, you know, like the people that was close to her, like my aunt that lived with her. Like we would go spend time with her or get her out the house. We go bowling, stuff that my grandma used to love for us all to do. We used to celebrate her birthdays, Mother's Day, make a birthday cake for some of the stuff that she used to love to do. An old recipe that they used to call 7-Up biscuits and stuff like that. So for me, I can relate to that with spending time with family and keeping that memory alive of that loved one.
Yes, indeed. Well, I'm gonna give you the top. Would you fix it?
I was just gonna say one of the hardest things to think about is that God allows us to come to this earth, and the thing that we don't want to happen sometimes, a lot of times it does happen, and the person is taken away from us. But God only loans us to each other. But it's so hard when, you know, it's their time for them to go, and we don't want to release them. And but having memories is just so important, and it's always good to know that if they carried out their purpose and all of their accomplishments and how fulfilled they were on the earth, that's something that we can, you know, look back on and say, well, this happened and they did this and they instilled this or that, and so many of us and left a legacy, you know, and even though everybody don't always have a real good one, but they were still here, that God allowed us to be connected to each other. But we never really lose them in our hearts. They will always be there. They'll always be a part of our lives, because we'll think of something that they did, be somewhere where they were, and it always brings back to our remembrance. And it's kind of the same way in when you're in a relationship. You always have thoughts that come through about the other person that you was with. But it's also good that, you know, you're able to share with the children, different family members and friends, and allowing them to be able to know this is what this person did in your life and how happy you were with them. So, yeah. But being that thing again of God only loans us to each other for a little while, because at the end of the day, we still belong to Him. And if He says, I'm ready, then He's ready.
Right.
Yeah. Also, it's not just about grieving a person. People grieve pets.
Oh, yeah.
That's a real thing.
Right.
So, you know, like we said, take that time to grieve, cry, shout, scream, holler without judgment. You know, you do what you need to do. And here are 10 leading causes of death in the U.S. So it's so many ways that we can leave here. Heart disease, approximately 695,000. Cancer of all types, 605,000. Unintentional injuries, 218,000. Chronic lower respiratory disease, 142,000. Stroke, 161,000. Alzheimer's disease, 134,000. Diabetes, 103,000. Chronic liver disease and cirrhosis, 56,000. Kidney disease, 53,000. Suicide, 49,500. Drug overdose deaths, 107,000 deaths in 2022, mostly from synthetic opioids or fentanyl. Firearm-related deaths, 49,000 per year, including homicide and suicide. COVID-19, well, I'm pretty sure y'all heard about that. I can go on and on and on. I mean, it's just so many ways that we could live. We're not promised nothing. So when you consider that, hug your loved one and hold onto them tightly, because you never know their last day. You don't never know your last day. Whatever y'all had an argument about yesterday, it don't matter. Is it really that important? I say to you, never. Let it go. Let them know you love them. Don't take it for granted that they know, because they can leave your house and you never see them again. So we know that this was a sober episode, but we hope you got something out of it. And if anybody's out there grieving and don't know how they're going to get through it, make sure you're reaching out to somebody and let them know that you are struggling with your grief and you need help. Even if you just need a hug, I'm sending you a hug. And I hope that you get through this the best way you know how. We love y'all. Oh, you can follow us on TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube at Check That Post Podcast. And write a Dear Jen letter to checkthatpostpod@gmail.com. Send a text to 866-311-2251. Also, don't forget to get your Listen and Don't Judge card game at www.conversewithcars.com. Thank you for joining us. And thank you again.
Thank you.
You think I noticed my heart, y'all.